The prophet Nostradamus predicted that the world in 2026 would witness a clash between East and West, ending with a positive future. Michel de Nostredame, commonly known as Nostradamus, was a famous 16th-century French prophet and astrologer. In 1555, he published Les Prophéties, a 900-verse book predicting major events from the mid-16th century until the end of the world, which he believed would occur in the year 3797. Each century was predicted in about 100 verses. It's presented in vague and obscure language, but is believed to have accurately predicted many major world events, such as the rise of Napoleon Bonaparte, wars, terrorism, and breakthroughs in contemporary technology. In his prophecy for the year 2026, he predicted more conflicts, including a clash between East and West. When Mars takes control, human blood will stain the cathedral. 3 flames will rise from the East, while the West will lose all light and silence, he wrote. Mars, the god of war in ancient Rome, appears in Nostradamus's 2026 prophecy, suggesting the possibility of conflict. However, interpretations of conflict may vary. Some experts believe this signals an economic war. As Europe lags behind countries like China and Japan in the race for artificial intelligence, another cryptic verse about 2026 reads, "Giant bees rise, ambushing at night." Some astrologers say bees are symbols of power and collective strength. Therefore, this prophecy suggests that world leaders are uniting towards a common goal and may foreshadow that the leaders of Russia, the US, and Ukraine will eventually agree on a peace deal. However, even if the Ukrainian war ends, another conflict risks breaking out in Europe because of the favor the city will show. The Ticino River will be flooded with blood. He wrote, referring to Ticino, the southernmost region of Switzerland, a country that has long maintained neutrality. Direct Swiss involvement in the conflict seems unlikely. But the prophecy seems to allude to the risk of a new conflict in Europe, as Ticino borders northern Italy. In another passage, the prophet notes, 7 months of great war, people die for evil. Rouen, king of Roux, will not fail. Researchers suggest this prophecy relates to either Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky or U.S. President Donald Trump. Nevertheless, Nostradamus offered a positive outlook for the end of 2026. The shadow will fall, but the light will shine. All the stars will guide those who look into their own hearts. This prophecy suggests a period of rebirth, the emergence of a new leader, or a new approach to the world after a long period of war and conflict. Nostradamus is believed to have accurately predicted several events in 2025, foretelling devastating floods that ravaged coastal cities, displacing millions. 2025 saw a series of devastating storms and floods across the world, such as the flash flood that killed over 130 people in Texas, USA, and a series of storms in Asia that killed thousands and displaced millions. He once predicted a protracted war that would end by the end of 2025, which many observers believe is related to the ongoing Russia-Ukraine conflict. Through a protracted war, the army will be so exhausted that it will no longer have money to pay its soldiers' salaries, the prophet wrote. However, scholars point out that Nostradamus's prophecies are expressed in a way that allows readers to interpret them through their own lens, expectations, or biases, as most of his predictions are quite vague and can be interpreted in many different ways.